So I was really surprised by how much my energy improved in just a couple of weeks. I went from feeling tired, sluggish, feeling like I needed a nap every day, to feeling clear-minded, more focused, and surprisingly energetic, considering I really wasn't sleeping very well. Now, how did I do this? Well, I have been intermittent fasting for the last couple of weeks, and to be honest, it was not without its challenges. Even though my energy improved, some of my other symptoms got worse. I was dealing with acid reflux, hot flashes, and I even broke out in hives. If this is your first time to the channel, I'm Brandy, and I have been struggling with Hashimoto's disease for over 17 years. Hashimoto's is where your immune system mistakenly attacks your thyroid, causing inflammation, and over time it can lead to an underactive thyroid, which is hypothyroidism. And you can experience symptoms like fatigue, brain fog, hair loss, weight gain, and mood changes. I am on a mission to reverse Hashimoto's disease naturally and affordably, so no expensive supplements, no holistic doctors, and no fancy treatments. Just practical diet and lifestyle changes. So I have been fascinated by the human body and its ability to heal since I was a teenager. I have obsessively read books and watched videos on health and wellness for years. Now I'm going to kind of use myself as a guinea pig to take what I have learned to see if I can try and reverse my Hashimoto's disease. I am going to be sharing everything I am doing. I'm going to be very honest about how I'm feeling, what's working, what's not working. Now, I'm not a doctor. This is just my personal journey, so it is always a good idea to check with your doctor if you are thinking about fasting or trying anything new, especially if you have a chronic illness. Now, of course, everybody is different, and what works for me may not work for you, but I am hoping by sharing my journey that we can kind of inspire and motivate one another to take back our health and to feel better. Now, as the first step in my journey, I am focusing on diet and exercise because I really believe that they can have the biggest impact on our health. If you missed my last video where I explain why I started fasting and how I started fasting, I will link that below. In that video, I also dive into some of the benefits and also some of the risks with fasting, especially for those of us with chronic illnesses like Hashimoto's. So originally I planned on doing OMAD, which is kind of a more intense method of fasting where I was just going to eat one meal a day. But I quickly learned that that really wasn't working for me because I was trying to cram all my food into one sitting, and it was leaving me feeling kind of tired, irritable, anxious, and then I would obsess about food all day, and then I would eat and feel, overly stuffed and sick. So I do plan to try OMAD again, but I got to take it a little bit more slowly so I'm not torturing myself. I got to work my way up to the one meal a day, and so I can give my body a little time to adjust. So for right now, I am trying each day to kind of work within like a 4 to 5 hour eating window, and that's usually between like 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day. So I am experimenting with like meal timing and sizes of my meals, because if I'm eating like fewer big meals, it kind of leaves me feeling kind of sluggish and tired. But if I eat too many tiny meals or not enough of them, I'm kind of left feeling hungry later in the night after my eating window has closed. I'm also not being super strict about what I am eating, but I am trying to stick to, whole nutrient-dense foods. And I am doing my best to limit things like caffeine, alcohol, sugar, refined grains, and ultra-processed foods. So there have been some really powerful positives over the last couple of weeks. I have had more energy than I have had in months, sometimes going the entire day without feeling tired until bedtime. I could also go long periods of time without getting hungry, having cravings, or obsessing about food. Now, I also lost 6 pounds, which some of that was probably just water weight. And my goal here wasn't really to lose weight, but I am kind of hoping to lose some inches around some of my more stubborn areas like my belly, butt, and thighs. Now, if you are looking to lose weight, fasting can be an incredibly effective way to do so. That seems to be the main reason most people start, considering fasting, is they're looking to lose some weight. It is not only a powerful way to drop weight, but it is also a very effective way to keep the weight off long term. I'm going to be honest, it has not all been good. I have really struggled, especially the first few days. At times I have felt extra anxious, extra irritable. My acid reflux has been worse. I've had frequent hot flashes, and I broke out in hives. And as much as I was enjoying the newfound energy I had, at times it kind of felt more like nervous energy, where I was kind of like that tired but wired feeling, where I couldn't just calm down and relax even though I was tired and I wanted to go to bed. So none of these symptoms were new for me, but some of them were much worse over the last couple of weeks. So one of the most difficult parts of the last couple of weeks is how badly I slept. I was waking up multiple times a night, feeling anxious and restless and having a really hard time falling back to sleep. Now, kind of the strange thing about all of this is even though I wasn't sleeping very well, I still seemed to have pretty good energy most days. Now, some of these symptoms could be my body adjusting to fasting. So when you fast, your body raises cortisol to kind of keep you awake and alert. That could be why I wasn't really feeling tired during the day. I had decent energy. But if your cortisol levels stay high at night, it can disrupt your sleep, which might have been why I wasn't sleeping very well. This could also be the reason why I was feeling more anxious and more irritable and why I broke out in hives. Fasting is a mild stressor that is actually kind of what makes it healing over time, but in the short term, especially if you're dealing with a chronic illness like Hashimoto's, it can actually cause things to kind of flare up at first, and it can make your symptoms worse before they actually start to get better. Now, there is a whole nother layer of this that I have to consider, and that is my thyroid medication. Now, some of these symptoms like poor sleep, irritability, feeling anxious, these can be symptoms of my medication being too high. This has happened to me in the past, and once I reduced my medication, I felt much better, my symptoms got better, and some of my symptoms even went away completely. So before I kind of make any big changes, I really need to have my thyroid levels tested so I can kind of figure out if some of my symptoms have anything to do with fasting, or maybe they're due to my thyroid medication being off. Now, the last couple of weeks have also really enforced my belief that I need to stick to whole, nutrient-dense foods as much as possible. Because towards the end of week 2, I kind of got a little more relaxed with my diet. We had a little birthday gathering for my father where we got 5 guys. I got a cheeseburger and french fries, and we had ice cream cake. And to be honest, that night I really didn't feel that bad. But the next day, I think I was definitely feeling it a little more. I was a little more tired and anxious and irritable. And probably the biggest thing is I was definitely craving sugar more. So this kind of just really reminded me the importance of kind of trying to stick to healthy foods as much as possible. I think this is especially important in the early stages where my body is kind of healing and adapting. I believe that as my mind and body get stronger and more resilient, the occasional indulgence really won't affect me as strongly. So I have really already learned a lot in just the first couple of weeks of fasting. Yes, I have definitely had some negative, not so great moments, but I've also had some really great moments where I have felt, clear-minded, I've had better energy, and I feel like I can go a really long time without getting hungry. And I really have not felt this way in years, so it's amazing that in just a couple of weeks, I am really feeling much better and seeing the positive effects of fasting. So even though fasting is a very powerful tool, I know it's not magic. It's going to take some time to give my body time to adjust and to heal, and it will take some time to really get the true full benefits of fasting. So this is really giving me hope, and it's really inspiring me to stick with this. I am going to listen to my body and give it some more time to adjust, and I will keep tweaking things as I go. I would really love to hear from you if you have tried fasting or made any other diet changes. Now, do you have any kind of thyroid or other autoimmune issue or any kind of chronic illness? Just drop it in the comments below. I would really love to connect with you and learn more about your healing journey. And if you're curious to find out how week 3 goes with intermittent fasting, be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell. I will be sharing an update soon, and I will also, share with you any changes I make along the way. Thank you so much for watching and being part of this journey with me. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.